3A of the Albert Lee Cup is brought to you by Whirlpool. Whirlpool, the world's largest appliance manufacturer, and is presented for Seafair by Tulalip Resort Casino. Uniquely different. Visit TulaliPResort.com.
So here are the lineup of the boats. The Albert Lee Appliance, the U88 degree for men. The Miss Red Dot, Beacon Plumbing, Miss Visit Tri-Cities, Falcon.com, and the Procraft boat with Ken Muscatel. That's the lineup. Here is our Carl's Jr. starter clock. The new hand-breaded chicken filet sandwich at Carl's Jr. Because, well, you know this, if machines can't eat it, machines shouldn't make it. Let's turn to find out who the players are in this race. Two fast boats are coming up in the next heat, but this one's got plenty of speed itself and some pretty good drivers. Let's start with Albert Lee. Brian Perkins at the controls, Mike.
Brian's going to need to finish very high in this heat, if not win it, in order to find himself a berth in the final, so that's his job.
Chip, it just could not be a much tougher day for that guy, J. Michael Kelly.
He's not going to make the final. The only thing that can salvage anything out of this weekend would be a heat win right here.
Jenny Hogan, how are they doing down there in that pits? What are they thinking?
Well, the cowling that covers the motor totally broken in half. They have duct tape on that thing, and it looks like a bike strap trying to hold it down. So they're confident. They said they've handled worse things than this, but not the ideal situation.
Kip Brown coming up here in the Red Dot boat. He made a mistake last time, and he acknowledged that, Mike.
Yeah, he's the one that inflicted the pain on the 88 boat now, and he is in a position, too, where if he's going to make the final heat, he's got to have a very fine performance here. It's a boat that's capable of doing it. He's going to try to do it cleanly, if at all possible.
Yeah, Chris Francis, he came in, did Kip Brown, with a lot of hopes for this weekend.
You know, if J. Michael is the one who is in the worst shape here, Kip Brown's not far behind him, but I just talked to one of his crew members and said, you know, we're still fast. We're still fast. Nothing wrong mechanical. We've just had a lot of bad racing luck. They hope that changes now because they got to win this heat to get in.
Here is the Beacon boat with Greg Hopp at the controls, Chip.
You know, I just can't see a way for him into the final. He's had two pretty difficult heats. If he could win here, yeah, he could make the final, but up against what he's got here, I just don't think that's going to happen.
Mike, John Zimmerman's getting some pretty good seat time this weekend.
He is indeed, and actually he's been letting this race come to him, as Chip observed earlier. He's not fast, really fast, but he's gaining points, and he could find himself with a berth in the final with a decent finish here.
Speaking of getting some points, how about Scott Liddycoat with that first place finish in Heat 2A?
Everybody in the pit area has been impressed with Scott Liddycoat all year long, and he's done nothing this weekend to detract from that. He's really a great driver.
And then, of course, Ken Muscatel has the Miss Procraft.
And he has not been a factor all day long and won't be a factor in this one either.
Well, the sun is out here on Lake Washington. Water kind of showing some ripples out there, and the wind's picked up just a little bit. Patrick, we're getting ready to go racing with the big boats again.
Oh, yeah, and Heat 3A is a real scramble. It's a pick-em. I guess if there's a favorite, it's Liddycoat in the Falcon. He won a heat before, and he's looking good out here. And we're ready to go racing.
Well, we're just starting to establish lanes here now. Everybody crept up. They were a little close to that buoy at the 1 minute mark. Oh, look there, the 7, the Falcon.com is down, and Scott Liddycoat is not supposed to be in that position at this point, and he's in a precarious location in the lower corner if he can't get it started.
That changes everything, doesn't it, Mike? Points-wise, if you take him out of the picture here, some of those boats that we didn't think have a chance might have a chance.
With Liddycoat out, this is your consummate scramble.
And their radio guys are telling them he's out, Liddycoat's out. That means you have a chance to be in, and they have to rethink what they're going to do out here as they arc up over the north turn along the Lake Washington floating bridge, the Mercer Idle floating bridge on the inside. It is going to be the degree men directly outside of him. It's going to be the Red Dot, and then the 9 boat, the Visit Tri-Cities.com. Bringing up the outside, it is Brian Perkins, and we got a flare up here. We just fired flares off the tower.
A flare means the boat has to, the reason they threw the flare out is there's a boat right in lane 3. Yeah. And the reason the boat went dead in lane 3, we don't know. But they would not have been able to see as the boats came into that first corner. You see a black boat in dark water. They wouldn't have seen them, so the officials did a really good thing stopping
That was a wise,
there,
definitely a wise
right
move
there.
because had they come rocketing in there. A fellow on the outside, particularly Brian Perkins, who was literally on a line to find that boat unexpectedly, would have been in big trouble. So that was a wise thing to do, to shut this thing down and give these guys a chance to get the obstruction out of the way.
And what that means is Scott Liddycoat is not allowed to go into the restart. If you cause the stoppage of heat, you're not allowed to participate in the restart. So, as Pat and Mike were talking about, this fight to get into the final, if you take Dave Villwock out of it and Steve David out of it, it's still wide open. That's Ken Muscatel.
Got somebody, bumped somebody. That's Dr. Ken Muscatel's tail
two
feathers
boats are
there.
affected. Look at this. We got 2 boats affected.
Looks like the 9 also is engaged in that situation, and we got a problem also with the 17 trying to come out of that crowd right at the moment. So something occurred out there that is a little unsavory. As we still count down here, let's see whether or not we've got another boat dead in the water. Yeah, we do. Muscatel's dead down there. Could have a repeat of what happened the last time with this heat, because he's right there in the corner.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised if they stop this heat, because the Ken Muscatel boat is in about lane 5, and that could be a little bit dangerous. If I were a referee, I'd stop it.
Yeah, I think I'd shoot the flares. There's no less reason to do it now than there was the last time, but they're coming for the starting line, and there are no flares showing, at least not now.
He's outside the course.
Green flag goes up. Yeah, he's out there. He is out closer to the white buoy, so it looks like they're okay. On the inside, coming down to the lower corner, the degree men, J. Michael Kelly is going to lead them through on the inside. Right outside of him, it is Brian Perkins, and he is pushing as well through that corner. Everybody's cleared Dr. Ken Muscatel, so we're okay this time. And Chip, they're heading down the back chute. We got a race.
Yeah, Brian Perkins is showing a lot of boat speed. He just showed a lot of air right there. He would really like to win this, because he needs points too to get in the final.
Both of those boats are climbing a little bit nose high as they go up toward the north turn for the first 3 times around. And J. Michael Kelly in the degree men, the 88 degree men, has the lead off the pin, and Brian Perkins is right there on his hip as they come down to the start-finish line for the first 3 times around. It looks like the Perkins boat, the Albert Lee's got a little more boat speed. He's going to come across the line, leading J. Michael Kelly as they head down to the lower corner once again.
Perkins at 133.8, and the second place boat at 131.96.
Michael, the last time I saw the Perkins boat right here run that fast, they were disqualified for flowing too much fuel. So I hope that this speed is actually legitimate boat speed. Yeah,
I hope so too. But speaking of flowing too much fuel, flagrant fuel violation in the last heat is going to cause some problems for the Oh Boy Oberto. They're said to have had a flagrant violation from down in the pits. We just learned that. Okay, here's Perkins now at the apex of the upper corner, trying to give him a lane but keep him tight, and he does that with J. Michael Kelly. 2 good boat racers as they come off the corner. Here is Brian Perkins slamming the throttle down.
Brian Perkins has had a miserable year. He's had no fun whatsoever, bad accident. So if he could win for Albert Lee, the name title sponsor here in Seattle, it would put a big smile on
Brian Perkins is having his best heat of racing ever. He just turned the last lap at 137 miles an hour.
We have an extra lap penalty on the 100 boat. It's in a dandy duel right now with the red dot for 3rd and 4th. But now the word is that the 100 is penalized an extra lap, so that will put Kip Brown in 3rd place. Back up the back chute now on the checkered flag lap. And you have Brian Perkins on the outside. J. Michael Kelly still wants to make a race of this. He does not desire to let Brian Perkins get away. Let's see if he can do something with a degree. He pulls up alongside him at the corner and just gets a perfect turn. As they come off the turn, however, it looks as though Brian Perkins, with that speed, is going to be able to pull ahead. He starts. Oh, this is going to be close. This is going to be close. They are across the line. I would take it Perkins by a tick of the clock, and you just saw that line there on the virtual race course line, and that comes in very handy, because who wouldn't have known otherwise.
What a great thing for Albert Lee Appliance, so that writes the check for this event. 3rd place boat was Greg Hopp, it appears.
Yeah, but remember Greg Hopp right here. Yeah, he was penalized. That's Greg Hopp in the Beacon Plumbing boat.
That's Silver Cloud Red Dot in 3rd place.
I'd say this is the first happy moment that this team and this driver have had all year.
Now, for Greg Farrell and his brother and that whole team and everybody from Albert Lee Appliance, great moment for them.
Of course, the question remains, is the boat speed the result of the right combination or anything else?
Now there should be a wing right there in the back of the boat.
There should be a back of the boat.
Now the question I have to ask is, where is that wing? Because when the wing comes off, it floats. So
it is floating in the back chute about midway up.
And now you can see, if you were going 200 miles an hour, would you see that wing? So they're very lucky that nobody ran over that. The year Brian Perkins has had, that would have been his luck, to be leading and then run into a wing.
They did put a radio call out, the corral did, to the boats to warn them that there was debris in the back chute, but they weren't sure exactly where it was.
This may well be the first time in history that a brother and a sister have both won heats at a hydroplane race, certainly in Seattle.
That's a good point.
Kaylee Perkins and Brian Perkins.
I'm glad you brought that up, Pat, because I've been so disappointed in my brother that he never won anything at Seafair. Nothing. My brother Scott. A very big disappointment to the whole family.
Well, you should have had a sister. That's the deal.
Right. I tell my brother that all the time. I should have had a sister.
I'm so happy for Brian Perkins. He's a up-and-coming driver, and here in front of the home crowd with his sponsors on the shore and the sponsors of the entire Seafair hydroplane race on the shore, he pulled off a victory, and that's great.
The crew didn't know, but I had a feeling that Brian Perkins knew he won this race. That was down the stretch.
That was awesome. Yeah, running with J. Michael like that, it's just, there's no better feeling in the world. And to pull a win out for the Albert Lee boat, we just couldn't ask for anything better. We needed that so bad. So hopefully that'll give us enough points to get in the final. But congratulations to J. Michael. They needed a second. I'm sure that helped them out. Those degree guys are working really hard all year. But, man, that feels awesome.
Good stuff. Yeah, you won a heat here last year as well in front of the home crowd. The year you've had, obviously, the accident there in Madison, that's been a tough year. It's been a tough year. This has to,
this is the first race that's really all started to come together, with the officials and just our overall performance. The guys, we've thrown everything we got at this boat, and nothing's worked till we got here. So, to get here and do well for Albert Lee Appliance and be a part of the National Guard Series here in Seattle is just incredible. We've got hopefully enough points to get in the final. If we do, we'll see what happens, and you never know. Something could happen.
Well, I was going to say, let's talk about that. A little strategizing, the starting here. We're seeing that all day long here.
Yeah, it is. The fight for lanes is back, and it's how boat racing started. And as far as the driver's perspective, it's probably the most important part of boat racing. It gives some of the guys with a disadvantage as far as their boats go an advantage in the driver's seat. So somebody like us might have an opportunity to go out and beat somebody like Vilwalk as long as we have a mildly compatible boat to what they have.
All right, Brian, thanks. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Good stuff. All right,
it.
back to you guys up at the booth.